A very good morning, viewer. Welcome to the segment Aviation, the segment that will know every morning to take you through what is happening in the aviation sector with our regular guest, Godin Ike. A lot of issues have been discussed last week, and this week we are going to actually look at the part 2 of last week, with the summary of the fact about how FAAN managed Nigerian airport, with a lot of issues coming up, with the analysis of so many other airports, and the details of Mr. Godin Ike will be on the screen in case you want to contact him, his Twitter handle, his phone numbers, and the website you can also go through to see issues regarding aviation. Are you the kind of person that normally enters flight? What do you really want to know about what is happening when you are about 1,900 and something feet above the sea, and so many other issues? You can just go through that website and see so many other issues. And also, if you see a video of interviews regarding the aviation sector in Nigeria as well as other parts of the world, the aviation freak that we normally say that is Mr. Godin Ike, his YouTube handle is also there. Good morning, Mr. Godin.
Hassan, good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine.
How's your weekend?
It was so fantastic.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
So today we are looking at the issue of our FAAN.
Summary of facts about FAAN managed Nigerian airports. Last week we did the part 1, and we took a look at summary of the state of the Nnamdi Azikiwe airport here in Abuja, and that of Murtala Mohammed airport in Lagos. We're taking them through to virtually all the FAAN managed airports in Nigeria. Today we're going to be looking at 2 more airports, and then we'll take it from there.
But before we go into this issue,
that's right.
Recently there were a lot of improvement in the aviation sector, especially both the Abuja Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport and Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos too. Can you compare them with so many other airports around the globe?
Well, like I always say, it's a continuous process. There's no end to improvement, no end to development of airports. I always say to anyone that listens to me, listen, we haven't scratched the surface. There's so much to do, so much to do. We can only continue to add value until we get to. At the moment, I don't think it's healthy to begin to compete or compare ourselves with the advanced world. We'll take a look at what they are doing, see how they are using technology to advance the course of aviation, and then do the best we can to continue to do our catch-up business, because that's exactly what we're doing. We're doing catch-up, and we're hoping that someday in the future we'll be able to overtake 1 or 2 of those kind of nations. I mean, if China could get itself to where it is today by dint of hard work and discipline, with hard work and discipline also, Nigeria can take over the aviation sector, at least in Africa, and then from there on to the world. So it's kudos to the Honorable Minister, who's doing the best he can at the moment to add value to the sector. It's a continuous process. As soon as he finishes his term, somebody else is going to come there, and our business will be to encourage that individual, be it a woman or a man, get there, get on with the job, and continue to increase the value. And so that's the way it is.
Okay,
yeah. So
let's begin
happy.
with the one we get.
Yes. If we get to our clip 1 of today's topic, then we'll get on clip 1. Yes, here we go. We're looking at today a summary of facts about FAAN managed Nigerian airports part 2, and the number 1 is Malam Aminu Kano International Airport. Yes. Malam Aminu Kano International Airport serves Kano. the capital city of Kano State of Nigeria.
Sure.
Named after politician Aminu Kano, the airport was a Royal Air Force station prior to Nigeria gaining independence from Britain in 1960. I remember we had done something during which we explained about how the first Royal Air Force war jet landed in a field right there in Kano, and that was a very #1 aviation activity in Nigeria. And this was sometime in the mid-40s, something like that. Yeah. So Kano Airport is actually supposed to be celebrated because it's practically speaking #1, in Nigeria. Yeah. So it should be celebrated, and celebration is not all about carrying out social activities, but go out there, develop it better, give it the ambience it needs, and showcases to the world that this is our #1 airport, and that's what I recommend.
There is a very need for that.
Okay, so we'll get on with our clip one. The airport has both international and domestic terminals. A new domestic terminal was completed and commissioned on the 23rd May 2011. A large Lebanese community and Muslim pilgrims to Mecca constitute major international passengers that the airport serves. Malam Aminu Kano International Airport is the oldest in Nigeria.
Yeah, as you said earlier.
That's correct. The very first aircraft that landed in Nigeria in 1922, it was even in 1922, I was wrong when I was saying mid-40s, it was actually 1922. Landed in Kano. However, the airport started operations in 1936. Airlines flying long-haul services between Europe and Africa used the airport for fuel stop operations. In those days, the kind of airplanes that we had, I'm going to show you some of the sample of the airplanes that we had at that time. They were not as long range as the airplanes today. For instance, a Boeing 777 can just take off from Abuja or Lagos and hit straight to London non-stop.
Sure.
But in those days, if they left Lagos, they needed to land in Kano to refuel, and then maybe get to another one of the northern African states of Tunisia, Algeria, all those frontline states, facing the desert and the Mediterranean Sea. You needed to stop in one of them and refuel before you cross the Mediterranean Sea and find yourself over Europe. And that was how they did it in those days. But technology has improved, and we're doing one straight haul. So however, the airport started operations in 1936. Airlines flying long-haul services between Europe and Africa used the airport for fuel stop operations. You see how important that Kano airport was for to the aviation world in those days. So, as modern airplanes do not need frequent fuel stops, many international airlines stopped serving the airport. KLM, Royal Dutch Airline, remains the longest airline serving the airport. They started operations in Kano since 1947. As a matter of fact, history has it that KLM is 99 years old this year. Yes, 99 years old. That's correct. That's how old the KLM Royal Dutch Airline is come a long way. And to have survived all the ups and downs of aviation business, the managers of that airline, both the past and present, need to be commended and respected. And people should actually go and learn from them how they came this far.
Yeah. A whole century.
Oh yeah, oh yes. But by the grace of God, we shall all be alive and well and healthy. And anytime they're going to celebrate that anywhere in the world, by the special grace of God, we should be able to attend and felicitate with them for 100 years of aviation business. Look at what we do here. Sometimes 3-4 years and the airline collapses. Our beautiful, my heart would just continue to bleed over Nigeria Airways, the best airliner in the whole of Africa, the best pilots in the whole of the world. The world acknowledged that Nigeria Airways pilots were the best in the world, and
unfortunately,
we messed with it. And so, anyway, let's stop crying over spilled milk and see what we can do with the fresh ones. Right. Oh, clip 2, please.
clip 2.
We're there. Number 2, Mallam Aminu Kano International Airport continues, okay? Mallam Aminu Kano International Airport is served by 2 runways. Runway 06/24 is used by civilian flights, while runway 05/23 primarily serves the Nigerian Air Force Base located at the south side of the airport. So practically speaking, if you ask me, that airport is still doing with 1 runway.
Sure.
The military one is usually exclusive, except during emergencies. We should have 1 more runway there for civilian use, for the reason I explained to my my listeners on radio the other day. People have asked, but why do we really need 2 runways? It's very important for safety, especially during harsh weathers when you have strong winds. When airplanes are coming down to land during their final approach, they come with lower speed. Normally, an average jet plane will be doing about 500 knots, during cruising, which really gives it high air pressure on the wings and all the other movable membranes, such as the ailerons, the flaps, the slates, the radar. Rather.
How many runways should the airport have?
No, I'm suggesting you can have as many as you want, depending on how large and huge the airport is. But for the kind of size of airports that we have, and for the purpose of safety, I'm recommending that the 3 or 4 major ones that we have, I'm talking about Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kano, at least, those 4 should have minimum of 2 and possibly 3 runways facing different directions. If they come back to us very quickly, I'll be able to demonstrate something with this miniature. Can they come back to us? Let me demonstrate something with the miniature, and then and I'll tell you what happens. Normally when an airplane is coming in for its final approach for touchdown, the speed has been reduced from all the way 500 knots, which is almost equivalent of 950 kilometers an hour. And normally the touchdown speed is usually anywhere between 1-4, depending on the size of the plane, the load is carrying, and there are a couple of factors that determine what landing speed. But usually not more than 160 knots, for touchdown. At that point, the plane is vulnerable, and the wind pressure on the wings and flaps, have reduced. Can you imagine from 500 knots to 160 in order to touch down and then not break off all these landing gears? So, so you find out that the plane is like a little baby screaming, "I want to touch down," and then suddenly you have a powerful crosswind. Crosswind is that wind that is coming at right angle from the path of flight. Okay, you have this powerful crosswind coming this way. You know what it does? It drifts the plane off the runway. Yeah, and if that plane has come way below its decision altitude, that altitude where you decide whether you are landing or getting back into the sky to do a turnaround, usually it's a challenge for pilots to quickly put power and get back into the skies without touching shrubs and trees and maybe even getting to the ground. Reason is that an average jet engine takes about 6 seconds to respond to power demand. If, as you have reduced power and speed and you're just heading nicely and this strong wind begins to harass you and almost threatening to push you out of the way, and you really want to quickly soar back into the sky at that low level you know, of sometimes 500, you know, to 300 feet above the sea level, you know, you find out that as the pilot quickly pushes his throttle stick forward to get the engines take you back up, it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These 6 seconds are 6 light years. They are too long for safety. Before you, as you put and the engine is humming, you're already hitting the ground. Yeah, that is the danger. And so you now find out that if you have such a crosswind coming and you are informed on time by the weatherman, you quickly, right when you are still above your decision altitude, you quickly put power, get some power, get back into the sky, and then get to, for instance, if you were on a runway of north-south, but you have a second runway that is running east-west. Do you follow? Sure. All the pilot does is goes around, makes his loop, then comes down on this runway that is facing this other direction. That crosswind is no more a crosswind. It becomes a tailwind. And that's easier to handle. Or if that loop were to come from the opposite direction this way, that crosswind now becomes a headwind. And that's also easier to handle. Pilots are trained to know how to do it. But for a crosswind, you have no chance. If it pushes you off course, you're no more aligned with your runway. And there's no other way to touch down other than to struggle to get back into the sky. And if you fail to get engine power to take you back into the sky before you hit the ground, you crash. That's what happens. And I thought I should explain this to my viewers so that you understand it.
Very important.
Yes. So let's get on with that's clip 2 very quickly. We'll run through. We'll have about 5 clips to go, and I hope we'll still have a little time to deal with that. Yes, we do. We stopped at. Okay, let's take it from the beginning. Malam Aminu Kano International Airport is served by 2 runways, runways 0624 used for civilian and 05/23 primary serves the Air Force base located at the south side of the airport. It is important to know that the terminals lie between the 2 runways. East VOR, this is just the, don't let it break your head. When you talk about VOR, the very high frequency, mini directional range. It's actually a radio signal that helps pilots to plot their position, in the skies, especially when you are approaching, for landing. It guides the pilots, and so and then when you now estimated that they combine them with the distance measurement equipment. That's why when you hear the VOR/DME, DME simply means distance measuring equipment. So it's been combined to help pilots plot their location in the sky and be sure that they are heading correctly towards the runway. Yes. So anytime you hear this VOR, DME, these all technical jargons that represent the name of the equipment used for these purposes. Okay. And then the non-directional beacons. Each VOR and non-directional beacons are located on the pier. The non-directional is especially almost the same, except that this one, distance than the VOR. I mean, you may not receive your VOR from a particular distance as you're approaching, but with the non-directional, the pilot is able to receive the signal that guides him. Okay, so these are the technologies that confuse lay people in this profession. But then our serves international flights and domestic services operated by Arik Air. Each departure launch has minimal facilities. This is the bit I don't particularly like. We should be celebrating our Kano airport as the #1 airport that we ever had in this country. Anyway, let's see what happens in the next 4 years with another mandate given to our amiable Honorable Minister Hadi Serika. Let's see what he does.
We hope that he will do something about that airport.
While you seem to be very particular. Are you from Cameroon?
Yeah, and I wrote something about it because the state of the airport really need a lot of issues.
There you go. There you go. So these are two Kano individuals. I was actually born in Cameroon.
So that's
all right. Well, I left Kano as a little boy, and so that denied me a possibility of being very fluent in Hausa language. But then I'm doing a little bit of it. Right. Okay. So the main terminal with the Concord Tower serves international flights and domestic services operated by Arik Air. Each departure launch has minimal facilities. Why a standby, or a new stand rather, why a new stand is located near the check-in counter. A small bar is located at the air side. The business class passengers are provided with a VIP lounge. Duty-free shops don't seem to be operational at the moment. That's sad. The arrival hall is serviced by a post office and a small bar. Along runway 0624 on the south side of the airport lies the domestic terminal currently serving operations of IRS. That was when IRS was there. Yeah. This was when this information came out. All right. Facilities include a new stand and a small bar, a new terminal adjacent to the main terminal has been completed and commissioned. You remember they commissioned a new terminal not too long ago. It was commissioned actually in May 2011. Let's go quickly to clip 3, very quickly. Clip 3, yeah, here we go, Al Hassan. We are still continuing with the Malam Aminu International Airport. Here are some of the incidents/accidents Malam Aminu Kano International Airport has experienced since inception. A, on June 24th, 1956. Yes, as a matter of fact, this happened a year before I was born, and I can tell you that this crash also affected my, my quest to becoming a flyer at a very young age. And today, people are gonna, because I've had a lot of my viewers wondering, why is this man going crazy about aviation? He's a licensed surveyor and valuer, and he has dug so deep into this profession. What does he plan to do with it? And all those kind of questions. My secrets are being revealed by this thing I'm reading to you right now. Let me read and then explain it to you. On June 24, 1956, a British Overseas Airways Corporation, usually known as BOAC, flight crashed in Kano. The 4-engine Canada Air C4 Argonaut airliner crashed shortly after takeoff, killing 32 out of the 45 passengers and crew on board. As a matter of fact, Hassan, you remember a moment ago I told you that I was born in Kano. My parents were living in a place known as Bompai. I actually attended nursery school in that all-white school that we had, St. Louis Bompai. It was supposed to be girls' school, but the nursery part of it was mixed. And that was where, I did, and all our teachers were all white, at the time. It was such a huge, beautiful environment in that I still remember as a little child, in my nursery days. But then again, this plane in question fell not too far away from where my parents lived, around that Bompai area of Kano. So my father was one of the witnesses that went to rescue people. And he told me this story by himself. As a matter of fact, it traumatized him all his life. And he never liked flying. And what had happened was that when this plane came down, he hadn't gone too high into the skies when it came down. Everybody in there was alive. But unfortunately, the technology of automatic doors were not there. The automatic doors, could not, there was no automatic doors, and so as they fell, nobody was conscious enough to quickly go and open up the door and let people out. So a few of them, were trapped and were banging, and my father witnessed it personally. And out of ignorance, they were using hard objects to try to break open the body of the airplane as aviation fuel was leaking. Suddenly, fire erupted. And a woman who was our neighbor was traveling to England for further studies by that flight. She was one of those that died in that flight. And that horribly, horribly traumatized my father. And I can imagine his son at the age of 15 telling him that he wanted to fly. And my father said to me, looked me in the eyes and said to me, over my dead body, forget it. You're not going to do that. Otherwise, by the age of 15, I was getting ready to go get this done in Canada. And then, but I never got over that. Even after taking other professions such as land surveying, which helped me with all my instruments and all the things that concern navigation. Right, yeah. So that's about that accident. B, so that accident also affected my life. And it happened a year before I was born. Right. On 22nd January 1973, while attempting to land in heavy wind, earlier Boeing 707-320C crashed, killing 176 out of 202 passengers and crew on board. It remains one of the worst aviation disasters in the history of Nigeria. That also took place at Kano Airport. On May 4th, 2002, EAS Airlines, my good friend's airline, the former governor of Kogi State, he owned that EAS, flight 4226, crashed upon takeoff from Malam Aminu Kano International Airport. The Russian-made Bak-1 11-500 twin-engine jet fell off the sky, killing all 71 passengers and crew on board, and 78 more on the ground. Yes, I remember when that crash took place, and I remember it was because of that crash that the then Honorable Minister of Aviation, Kema Chikwe, ordered all Bak-1 11 airplanes grounded in Nigeria, and that was what saw the phasing out of the Russian-made Bak-1 11 out of, although I didn't quite agree with that decision, because I remember asking her a question during the 11th African Aviation Conference, would you describe an airplane that's successfully undergone AD check as an old airplane? That was a question I put across to her, and I was surprised that most of the foreign attendees to that conference gave me a standing ovation for that question. I didn't quite, I just asked an innocent question, but it made a huge impact, and but I didn't quite get an answer to that question. So clip 4, please. One more clip and we're done. Are we there? Okay, clip 4. Port Harcourt International Airport. Port Harcourt International Airport is located in Omagwa, a suburb of Port Harcourt, the capital city of Rivers State, Nigeria. The airport is served by 2 terminals, one for international flights operations and the other for domestic flights. Each new international terminal was commissioned by President Muhammadu Buhari on the 25th October 2018. Those that have visited are saying that it's really a piece of beauty to behold. Well, thank God. We'll continue. There's no end to, upgrading these things. No end. It's an endless thing. Well, yeah. Rated as the 3rd busiest airport in Nigeria. Statistics had it that it served 1,081,587 passengers in 2009. That was the 2009 statistics. I wonder what's happening to other statistics of the other years. I searched and searched and couldn't find any information on those. East VOR, I've already explained this to you. DME and non-directional beacon are located right there on the field. The need to overhaul the runway and build a fence around the facilities led to the shutdown of the airport on 18th August 2006. Although plans were on for several months to renovate the airport, an electrical fire which happened on the 17th August 2006 necessitated immediate repairs. In December 2007, the airport was reopened partially as operations were restricted to the time. Please, that's a typographical error there. That word there is supposed to be THED. So my dear viewers, please change accordingly. To the time only until the first quarter of 2008, when the new Category 3 lighting system became fully. Oh, sorry. My dear viewers, I apologize for this mix-up. I actually mean to say that they partially, as operations were restricted to daytime. I'm sorry, daytime only. Okay. All right. Yes. Until the first quarter of 2008, when the new Category 3 lighting system became fully, operational. So, my dear viewers, please correct accordingly. So, what you have there is quite correct, and I apologize for that mix-up. Clip 5. Port Harcourt International Airport continues, and that's our last clip for the day. Here are some incidents and accidents Port Harcourt International Airport has experienced since inception. On December 17, 1996, an MK Airlines, Mike Kruger, that's the MK Airlines, is defunct right now, but DC-855F airplane arriving from Luxembourg struck trees, landed short of the runway, and erupted in fire. All 4 crew survived. B. On 27 November 2001, the same MK Airlines Boeing 747-200 crashed in bad weather during final approach to the Port Harcourt International Airport, killing 1 crew member. Nigeria Civil Aviation Accident Investigation Report, FMA AIBPB 389, heralded the pilot responsible as he was using a non-standard final approach on autopilot below 2,000 feet, contrary to the company's policy. On December 10, 2005, this one really breaks my heart. That was when we lost those Loyola Jesuit College students. So Soliso Airlines, in a flight 1145, which took off from Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, crashed at Port Harcourt Airport International Airport, killing 108 out of 110 passengers and crew on board. D, and the final one, June 22nd, 2019, an Air Peace Boeing 737 with 887 passengers and 6 crew from Abuja to Port Harcourt overshot the runway in heavy rain and came to rest in muddy ground. No fatality was recorded. That was hydroplaning. I had explained to my viewers what the meaning of hydroplaning, which was what really happened, and the plane lost traction and couldn't stop until it got into a muddy. So flash some photographs very quickly, and let's get out of here, because I know that we're pretty late and done. Yeah, of course. Keep shifting it. That's the VR station. What an average one looks like. This one actually it was built in Germany. I brought it for people to see, the nature of the VR DMI, stations. Go ahead. That, is the same station trying to tell us is the VR DME ground stations in Germany. Go ahead. And that is that airplane that we're talking about, the one that crashed in Kano. Yes. So that is the model. You can see how small it was, and the turboprop engines that they had. It used to be known as North Star. Now, it was a Canadian-made airplane. But it helped the world quite a lot at the time. And yeah, sure. This is the one belonging to the BOAC. That's exactly the one that came to Kano at the time. And then crashed. Yes. All right. All right.
You're alive. What's the last one?
Oh, well, my dear viewers, we're going to continue with this summary of facts. We'll do another 2 airports next week. Stand by and learn quite a lot about your airports. And then that's also going to be revealing to our amiable Honorable Minister Hadi Sirika about the state of some of these airports and what more can be done. Just do the best you can during your tenure, and somebody else will join you and continue the business. Government is a continuum, and it's a continuous process. We'll continue to develop and be better people and better nation.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Godin Ike, the one that we normally call aviation freak, a person that has passion for anything that has to do with aviation. And this program or this segment every Monday discuss issues related to aviation in Nigeria, and sometimes we even go outside the country, Africa and other part of the world to discuss. Until next week, the discussion concerning these issues and other airport will come up with the same person, Mr. Godin Ike. Until then, I am Al Hassan Bala. Bye for now.